Hello guys, welcome. Today, let's look at how to create this stunning text stroke animation using Framer Motion. If this video adds value to you or your project, please endeavor to like and subscribe in order to support the channel. Without further ado, let's begin. So here I have an image of the output and so the first thing we are going to build is going to be this Chanel logo animation. And to do that, I've already prepared the Chanel logo here in Figma, and I'm just going to copy it as an SVG. After copying it as an SVG, I'm going to, let me add a div here and paste it inside. We can see the logo appearing here, but it's very small and black. So to change that, first off, let me do some cleanup here and also update this to, let's say, 300. Yeah, so now this has been updated to 300. The next thing we have to do is to change that black color to our desired color, which is what we have here. And to do that, I'm going to put this fill property to this color. And also we have to add the stroke, and let me just add the stroke color here. The stroke is going to be golden rod. Yeah, but the stroke is too thick, so let's change the stroke width to 0.2, for example. Okay, this works. Now the next thing I want to show you guys is how we can do to achieve these half strokes here, right? So because here we can see that the stroke is covering the whole logo, and to do that we have something we call stroke dashboard. So with the stroke dashboard dash array, sorry, I said stroke dashboard, with the stroke dash array, I can put a value here like let me say 10. So a stroke dash array is basically a pattern for strokes and gaps. So here we are counting 10 for stroke, and here we are counting 10 for gap. So it's going to do that until it completes like the whole SVG, right? But now we are seeing that this is too much gap, but here we have like gaps that are not cutting, right? So to achieve that, we can increase this to 100 and see how it looks like. So if we increase this stroke dash array to 100, we are seeing that it's taking almost half of this guy. Let's say we put it to 200. You see that it's almost closing the SVG. And let's say we put it to 300, then it has fully covered this. So this is us trying to arbitrarily know the length of these parts, right? But in React, there's a way that we can do to get the full length of this part. So let me show you. So here I'm going to add a ref, and it's going to be this SVG path element, sorry. Yep, oops, we have not imported this. What? Let me put null here. Okay, so after doing this, I'm going to apply this ref to this path element, and now on component mounts, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do a console. Let me just alert this value. Alert ref.current.get total length. So yeah, so let's, okay, so you can see that here it has calculated the total length of these parts, and it has given us the value here. So this is the exact value. So this 300 is just too much for the part, and yeah, let's just store this value here and continue. Let me put it here, part length is equals to this, and let me remove these guys. Yeah, so now let me add now this part length property here, and voila. So we reload this, we can see that it fully covers this SVG. But now there is now a second property I want us to play with, and that is the stroke dash offset. So the stroke dash offset, let me show you guys what it looks like. So if I put 0 here, you can see that nothing happens here. But if I put, let me say 100, you can see that it cuts, you know, some parts of this part, some parts of this SVG stroke, right? And the more we increase this value, going closer to this part length here, this stroke is going to gradually reduce, right? So here we are at 100. If we go to 200, you see that a good portion of it has gone, because, you know, 200 is very, very close to this 264. And let's say we bring it to 250, you see that it's almost nothing visible. And if we bring it to, let me say, part length, then we are no longer seeing it again, right? So one way that we can do to animate, you know, the stroke property from maybe not being visible to something maybe visible, we can come here and create, and let me try and animate this part so that you can see. So here I want to animate this, and the property I want to animate is the stroke offset property, and I want to animate it from this value to 0. And let me put the transition. I want the duration to be 0. Let me put 5, and the ease should be linear, and I want the repeat type to be reverse. All right, so now that we have this here, let me reload this page. You can clearly see how it animates it from an empty state to this full state, right? So that's step 1 of our animation. But now we can clearly see that here we are not animating this logo from an empty state to a full state. It means all the time we have to be having some, you know, some stroke displayed here, but it just needs to be moving around randomly and stuff like that. So to be able to achieve that, we are going to play along with this part length, right? Because we don't want this full animation to happen. We want it to happen like part or halfway, right? And that's the reason why I'm going to come here and update this to 100. And after updating this to 100, if I reload this page, you see the way it goes halfway, and once it ends, it's going to probably come back to the initial state and, you know, reverse the animation. Yeah, so that is step 1 for the animation that we are having here. Yes, I think that should be it. Oh, we have not added the repeat property, like the amount of time it should repeat. So let me put infinity here. So with this, it's going to continue, and once it ends, it reverses. Yeah, so this is good. So let me just do some cleanup here. I'm going to add this animation here. Let me add this animation here, and let me also add this transition, because we are going to use it again. So this is the transition. So let's add this there, animation and transition. I don't know why this transition is, what's the error? Duration number is not assignable to this. What are we missing? Anyways, for now, let's just leave it like that. I'm going to check that one after. All right, now the next thing that we need to do is to animate this channel and fashion. So there are actually 2 ways that we can do to, you know, do this kind of animation. The first one would be to actually go into Figma and write a text here, then export it as an SVG, right? But today we are not going to look at that method. We are going to look at a different method, which is what we are trying to do now. Now, first things first, we are going to create an SVG tag. And inside this SVG, inside this tag, let's put a width to auto. Sorry, oops. Let's put a height to also auto. Now within this SVG, I'm going to create a motion.text. So normally we are supposed to have text like this. So this is an SVG property. And within this property, I'm going to put this value here, name. So if I put this, it's not yet visible. So let's start styling this text. Let's begin to style this text. So first things first, let me put a field property. For the field property, let's give it this value. And let's probably center it because it's not currently centered. Let's add these styles. Yeah, so now that we've added these properties, we can clearly see how it's displayed here as Chanel and fashion, but it's very small. So let's add some class names probably. Class name, let me put the margin top 10. Let me put what should I put again? Let me increase that text size. So let's put it to 7 rem. And let's make it font bold. No, bold is good. All right, so let me make this guy to full. All right. So it's not taking, it's taking too much space. Let's reduce it to something nice. Let me put 5. Okay, let's leave it like this. Now we could also apply some stroke here on this text. So to apply the stroke on the text, I think I'm going to come here and do stroke golden rod. All right, and let's reduce the stroke width to 1. Okay, this is already 1. All right, so let's just apply the same properties that we have here. So I'm just going to copy this. So we also want the stroke dash to be like all of them to have the same properties. What's this? Okay, so I think this should be good. And let me refresh this. It doesn't animate. Okay, it doesn't animate because we've not added the motion.text here. So now that I've added this, I can now save, and you can see how it animates properly, right? You can see how it animates properly. So guys, this is very, very beautiful. I love the way it's coming out. And also, if maybe you don't want this field to appear, for example, you need a more lean approach of doing this thing. Let's say we convert this to white, for example, and we remove the fill, or we put fill here, none, and here we put black, for example. Same thing here, we put none, and here we put black. You can see how it's showing. So let's just say, okay, we want it to be, like we want to see much more of the characters. We could increase this to 200. You see, so with this you can clearly see it forming. You see, channel and fashion. So let's bring it back to the initial state, sorry. Yeah, so guys, this is the end of the tutorial. This was a very, very interesting session, and please, if this video has added some value to you or your project, Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel in order to support me. Thank you very much. And if you have any other type of animations or text animation or SVG animations you would like me to work on, then drop it down into the comment section, and see you on the next video. Bye bye.